Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alisha, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. First question this week comes from Sanju. Hi Sanju. Sanju says, "Hi Alisha, I would like to know how to use adverbs and their correct position in sentences. And I also want to know the different kinds of adverbs we can use in sentences." Okay, adverbs are tricky, yes. So for this, I'm going to focus on two kind of broad types of adverbs. One, I'm going to talk about the ones that we use to modify just verbs or to modify like adjectives and phrases. And second, I'll talk about adverbs that we use to modify whole sentences. So first, let's take a look at adverbs that we use to modify like verbs and adjectives. So these types of adverbs, they make the meaning more specific. So like they make the meaning of a verb a little bit more restricted. So it becomes a more specific sentence. So an example, she walked slowly. In this sentence, slowly is the adverb. Slowly modifies the verb walked. So we're learning here, how did she walk? She walked slowly. So she walked slowly is a more specific sentence than just she walked. Let's look at another example. We arrived late. In this sentence, late is the adverb. The verb that it's modifying is arrived. So instead of just saying we arrived, we can say we arrived late. This gives us more specific information about the situation. We're learning when did they arrive? We arrived late. So late is the adverb here. One more example. This view is very beautiful. Here, very is the adverb. In this case, it's modifying an adjective, not a verb. The adjective is beautiful. So we want to ask the question, how beautiful was the view? Very beautiful. So in this way, we can modify verbs, we can modify adjectives, and even phrases in this simple way. So with that in mind, now let's take a look at adverbs that can be used to modify entire sentences. So sometimes these adverbs can be used to modify just verbs, yes, but they can also be positioned so that they modify entire sentences. An example, sadly, we lost the match. Here, sadly is the adverb. It modifies the sentence, we lost the match. Interestingly, we never received a call from our client. Here, interestingly is the adverb. It modifies the sentence, we never received a call from our client. So the positioning here is kind of important. You can position the adverbs at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, but I would make one point. If you're going to position the adverb at the end of the sentence, use a comma before the adverb. So if you do this without a comma and you make a sentence like with the first example situation, we lost the match sadly, it might sound like the team members were actually like sad in the match. So that might like create some confusion. If you put a comma though before your adverb at the end of the sentence, it makes things much clearer for your reader. The same thing applies in the second example situation. We never received a call from our client, interestingly. It's kind of confusing. Like you might think like you never received an interesting call from your client. It might create some confusion. So adding a comma there can help make things clearer. So if you want to do that, you can put it at the end of the sentence. I personally prefer in most cases to put the adverb, if it's a sentence modifying adverb, I prefer to put it at the beginning of the sentence to prevent any of this confusion. While yes, you can make some changes in their positioning, if you're ever not sure where to place the adverb, place it as closely as possible to the word that it's modifying. So for example, the first example sentence was very simple. She walked slowly. But if there's more information, like she walked slowly and we want to talk about a road too, it's much clearer to say she walked slowly down the road than it is to say she walked down the road slowly. So in that second sentence, slowly and the verb that it's modifying, walked, are very far apart in the sentence. So in very complex sentences, it can get confusing. It's better to keep your adverbs and the words that they modify close together if possible. So I hope that this helps you understand a bit about placement of adverbs and how and where we use them. Thanks very much for sending this question in. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Diana. Hi, Diana. Diana says, hi, Alisha. Which one is correct? Write something in the chat or on the chat. For example, the YouTube chat during the live stream. Thanks. Oh, yeah, use in. So this is something I think I say during the live stream, like send us your messages in the chat, or I see something in the chat, or write that in the chat. Send your example sentences in the chat. When you want to talk about chat rooms online, on YouTube, whatever, please use the preposition in to do that. I hope that that helps you. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Kesavaraj Varadarajan. Hi again, Kesavaraj. Kesavaraj says, hi, Alisha. When can we use hi, dear, and other salutations in emails? Thanks. Nice question. So if you're emailing a close colleague or a close coworker, there are 3 that I would recommend. You can use hello, first name, hi, first name, or hey, first name. I would use hey only with colleagues or with coworkers that you are very close to. It sounds quite casual, and it might sound a little bit impolite. It might sound a little too casual if you don't know the other person very well. If you use one of these plus like Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. or something like that, it sounds a little weird. Like it might sound a little bit kind of off balance if you use, hey, Mr. So-and-so. Like some professors I know and some like instructors, at least in the US, don't mind that kind of thing. But in some cases it can sound a little bit strange. If you're ever not sure what level of formality to go with, like should I use hey, should I use hi, should I use hello, just go with hello. Like hello, first name for someone that you know fairly well. Hello is nice. You can use hello, Mr. or hello, Mrs., hello, Miss as well. So hello is kind of the standard level. For more formal salutations, you can use dear. Yes, I use dear when I'm writing to someone that I feel is a bit above me and maybe I don't know that person. If you want to make it even more formal, use dear, Mr., Ms., Mrs., whatever, plus their last name. Don't use first names. If they have a title, you should use that title as well. But in general, I think most email correspondence usually uses hello or dear in one of those patterns that I've just mentioned. Those are probably the most standard ways to greet people in emails. So I hope that this helps you. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Ruben. Hi, Ruben. Ruben says, can you explain the difference between the words garbage, rubbish, and trash? Yep, they mean the same thing. Garbage, rubbish, and trash mean the same thing, but rubbish is used in British English. We don't really use the word rubbish in American English. Also, we tend to use the words garbage and trash when we mean garbage can or trash can. We don't always say, where's the garbage can? We might just say, where's the garbage or where's the trash? But we mean, where is the garbage can or where is the trash can? So trash and garbage can also be used as very rude words to talk about people that you dislike. So you might hear this in media. I personally don't like to use those words to talk about people, but you may hear it sometimes. Rubbish, as well as trash and garbage, can also be used to talk about things you think are of poor quality. So like, oh man, this phone case was trash, or oh man, this shirt is trash. Something that's of very poor quality. You can use garbage, trash, rubbish. But again, British English uses rubbish. We don't really use this word in American English. So I hope that that helps you. They mean really the same thing when you're talking about waste. Thanks very much for the question. Hope that that helps you. Let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Agilis Polite. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. But Agilis says, hi Alisha, what does the phrase knuckle under mean? Also, what is the correct usage of I with was, and when is were used with I? Thanks. Interesting, I have never actually heard the expression knuckle under, but I researched it, and knuckle under means like to submit or to yield. So like when someone is like pressuring you or trying to get you to do something and you finally give up and you like agree, okay, fine, I'll do that thing. You give in. That's called knuckling under, or to knuckle under. Is like, you can imagine that like someone uses their knuckle. So this part of the body is called the knuckle. You can kind of imagine someone applies their knuckles to apply pressure to someone to get them to do something. So this might be a helpful image. When you finally agree to that thing, you like go under their knuckles, like they've pushed you into this situation or into a task that you really didn't want to do, or it was difficult to agree to. So that's the meaning of knuckle under. Some examples. We won't knuckle under to their demands. Keep pushing them, they'll knuckle under. Regarding your second question about using I was and I were, the short answer is that we use I was to begin simple past tense statements. We use I were to begin statements that are not true. They are unreal statements. For example, I was a teacher 5 years ago. And if I were a teacher, I would teach math. So in the first example sentence, it's a simple past tense statement. I was a teacher 5 years ago. I use I was to show that. In my second example sentence, if I were a teacher, I'm explaining something that is not true. It's an unreal situation. So in this case, we imagine I am not a teacher, but so I want to explain, if I were a teacher, I would teach math. So when we introduce these unreal situations, we use I were. So for some more example sentences and some more discussion about this topic, please check out episode 54 and episode 70 of this series. So I've answered similar questions from other viewers about this same topic. So I hope that that information is helpful for you. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, that is everything that I have for this week. Thanks, as always, for sending your great questions. Remember to send them at englishclass101.com/ask-Alisha. Of course, if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please do check us out at englishclass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this week's episode of Ask Alisha, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye. Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.